Hello, everybody. So it was definitely a chilly morning. I just woke up on the radio. The Golden Rule actually ran aground this morning. They were calling in distress on the radio. I don't know what they're using to navigate, but I definitely know some of those stretches of the river. You got to be real careful. Follow those channel markers and watch your chart plotter, because if you go right outside of those channel markers, it goes from 15 feet to like 4. And if you don't know what you're doing, it's gonna bite you. So in a way, it's kind of interesting that they ran aground back there, probably 20 miles, and I went through there at night. But we all have different equipment and stuff and different skills, so I wish them the best, and I hope they can come off the sandbar as quick as possible, because that sucks. You don't want your boat on land, you want your boat floating. So I wish them the best of luck, and I hope that they get it off the sandbar, and I'll monitor the radio and hear what we have as it goes. So it's about 46 degrees right now. It's a chilly day. For the condensation problem we were having before, another boat commented just to not to leave this open, but actually just to not have it tight. And as you can see, there's just kind of a little bit of a space, and that helped with the condensation up here. It made it a teeny bit chillier, but then it's not raining on you from the condensation from your breath. We have our little door here, and this actually keeps all the heat up here pretty good. So, and then we have our window by our head over there open, so we have enough ventilation at night, and then we have our ventilation fan on the ceiling there. So, interesting morning. I wasn't expecting to wake up to hearing that they went aground. I really hope they can get off and that they're okay. All right, everybody. It is 34 degrees back here. Whoa. I didn't realize how warm it gets up in the front when you have that curtain shut. It was like 56 up there. I can see your breath. Chilly, 34. Ooh, and tomorrow's the cold one, a 30 in the morning. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy that the Golden Rule ran aground. That makes me feel bad for them. I wonder what they're using for a chart plotter. I'm using Navonics on my phone and my Humminbird chart plotter. And I know that Navonics you can update every day and it changes. The Humminbird one, I know I've looked on there a few times and it said, you're good to go in this spot. And on the Navonics one, that live updates, no, you're not good to go there. So it's good to have two like that you can switch between, and having the Navonics on my phone that auto updates every day. It's like a 400 or 500 megabyte update. I think really helps compared to just a standard chart plotter. When I was on their boat, it looked like to me that they had just a compass and then like a Garmin like 10-inch or 12-inch chart plotter. But I'm not sure if that one's connected to the internet or if it live updates or what. A river can be very unforgiving if you have no idea what you're doing, and you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful, because she'll bite you. Alright, well, I'm gonna get some more clothes on. I already have 2 pair of long underwear on, and then that was it. I was up in my 18-degree sleeping bag and in the front, and I was warm and cozy. But now that I came back here, it's chilly. And, I'm gonna have to get ready to start heading south. Alright, here we go, everybody. Nice little anchorage for the night. Beautiful sunrise. It's about 9 o'clock. We're gonna head to Dubuque here, and we're gonna meet up with Paul, fellow sailor, up in Lake Molasse. It's a little chilly this morning. I don't have my balaclava and stuff on though, but I should have. I didn't know how it was going to be when I come up here, but it is like 30-something degrees. I don't know if you can see, but you can see your breath. It's actually chillier than last night, so I got my gloves on today. but it should get up in the 50s, so it should be good later on. We're gonna head into the sunrise. It'll be about, like I was saying, 10 miles to Lock and Dam number 11. And then the beach should be right there, and we'll get a spot at the port. That's the plan. Anyway, so we press on. Everybody, it's starting to warm up a little here. Good thing I got my sunscreen on. Move this gas can and sit back farther. It would be in the shade, but I want the sun to warm me up, so I'm sitting here like, I'm basking. But yeah, date with what it looks like around here. So as you can see, here are the channel markers, and you follow them. But if you don't have a chart plotter or are not following the channel markers like some of the pleasure boaters do, it's very easy to go off and stuff like that, where the channel here is 10 to 15 feet. Right over there, maybe 10 feet, it's like 2 feet for, you know, a couple football fields linked to the shore. And when you're out here, you would have no idea that that's what it does. So I can see it would be really easy to run around if you didn't have modern day electronics and stuff. So I haven't heard any updates on the radio or anything. So I'm hoping that they got them off and it's not going to take too long. I still haven't yet. I was hoping to see a bear or something along the river, but we have bears in Minnesota by where we live, and wolves and coyotes. In Omania, where I live, a guy got actually treated by a pack of wolves a couple years ago, like 15 miles from where I live. It was in the Mille Lacs Messenger. So, growing up and being around that, not growing up and being around that, you get used to it. So I thought I'd be seeing way more animals. Really, I've seen some eagles, some birds, a couple deer. No foxes or coyotes or anything. No chupacabra or Bigfoot. So we'll be on the lookout. That would be epic. Go on this epic journey and end up finding Bigfoot or something. I'd be happy. My mom was telling me that she has all her buddies watching at her building. So shout out to West and Roanne. Thank you for watching and following along on our journey. I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, just let my mom know and definitely let me know. I need to get some sunglasses, I think. I had some when I started, and I ended up leaving them in the car when I got on the boat when I was loading everything in, because it kind of got not as bright out, and I was thinking of boat stuff. I thought I had 2 or 3 pair of sunglasses, because I have 2 or 3 pair of yellow glasses and clear glasses that I learned from the motorcycle, so if I'm out here in the rain or anything. I actually also have my 4-wheeler goggles too, and they're fog resistant for cold. So if it gets real bad, I'll throw on my rain gear and then like my 4-wheeler goggles that look like ski goggles. And I'll be in like a space suit. But I am prepared and I have all that gear if I need it. So it's always good to know. Last night when I was going through the lock, it was funny. The lockmaster said I was nuts because it's 20, 30 mile an hour winds at night in a small boat. But I was able to call ahead on the radio, and because of my AIS, I saw that there was a boat coming up. I forget what the name of it is now. And called them up and I said, hey, I see blah, 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 blah is heading north there. Is there any way that I'd be able to sneak through south quick before you get him, he gets there? Because he's still about a mile or 2 out, and I'm right here. And they were like, that's when they were like, wow, we didn't expect that to be that kind of a boat, because they can see it on the AIS. And they're like, you're crazy for being out here in this wind, but you sure are well equipped. We don't have many people ever call us on the radio and know what the barges are ahead that aren't commercial traffic. So I thought that was kind of cool. It might be crazy, but at least I'm well equipped. Crazy is all about perspective. Things that one person does in life to another one can just be their day-to-day routine. Kind of how life is. That's a lot of what this trip is kind of showing me. If you don't travel, you end up kind of just being in your local area, and you don't really realize how big the world is, and how many people there are just out there and doing their own thing besides you. You know, a lot of people get caught up in their own life and think everything's about them, and that's how everybody is. So you can't really see that and get that perspective on how big and how many people really are out there until you actually travel around out of your small town or where you normally live. It kind of really gives you, broadens your horizon on what's out there. Like, I would have never known the Mississippi River was like this, with barges and all this, and this river life, and some of the power boaters that just go up and down all the time, down south in the winter, up north in the spring, the summer, to do it over and over again. It's a pretty cool lifestyle. I was thinking about how I was reading that Mark Twain, Life on the Mississippi. A lot of people read Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn, but Life on the Mississippi talks about when he was on the steamship. And a lot of people don't know, I don't think, his real name was Samuel Clement, and Mark Twain was his pen name. Mark Twain is the two marks on the rope. Every 6 feet you would put a mark and you would drop it. And if you got 2 knots with Mark Twain, 12 feet, and you knew it was safe to navigate the river. So that's why he picked that name. It's kind of cool. A little bit of American history, and you actually get to experience as you read about it and how he wrote about it, which is amazing. He was a great writer. So it's really cool. I'm glad that this trip is turning out like it is. Everything's been going good, and it's really cool to kind of, I did sailing on Lake Mille Lacs. I didn't really do a lot of motoring, but by having the mast down and motoring like this, kind of got a river rat lifestyle for the first part. Once we get to Alton, Illinois, we'll get our mast up, and then once we get down into the Gulf, we'll be doing some Gulf sailing. We'll do some coastal, we might go up into the intercoastal waterway and stuff over the winter, or waiting for the weather to get a little warmer before we head up the East Coast and back into the Erie Canal, and that'll be cool. We'll hang out, have some bayou lifestyle for a little bit. I'm loving it. I feel like my dad is here with me too. I don't know, I always used to laugh when people would be like, spirits and ghosts, and they're with you. I'm not real religious. I'm not real into like, oh, they're with you, or they did that for you, or did you see that leaf blow, your loved one did it. I've never been into that, but in my heart and in my soul, I feel like after my dad died, I felt kind of empty and stuff, and doing this, it kind of, I don't know, it gave me like a more purpose in life. For a long time, I took care of him, and that was my only purpose, was keeping the house going, the homestead, like heat, gotta cut wood and all that, and then trying to keep him alive because he had kidney disease and heart disease. So I always had to figure out diet and all of that stuff. So we were able to actually get his kidneys from 15% function back up to 30 through diet, and I was able to probably extend his life another 2.5, 3 years. And it's kind of sad. In the United States, we always think we're the top medical technology and all that, and we really aren't, especially when it comes to kidney disease and heart disease. We're like number 14 in the world. And just a lot of the things that the doctors have are old news. I was amazed, even down at the Mayo Clinic when my dad was there, that these doctors, I guess once you finish college and you're a doctor, you're set. You don't really have to do it, but they don't read the newest medical journals all the time and keep up with the newest medical science and all that. And they can be kind of outdated, and it's crazy. And then being doctors, they're not used to the average everyday Joe coming up and trying to have a conversation with them about medical things. And they get very dismissive. And that's kind of sad, especially when you're just trying to teach them and keep the person you're taking care of alive. You know, if you can teach them, the doctor, something as well, they can use that and use it on their other patients and stuff. So, like a big one in the United States with kidney diseases, they'll have you on a 2,000 milligram salt diet, and that's what they say, cut down to 2,000 milligrams. And that's still way too much. From all my reading and research, it was like 1,300 milligrams, or 1.3 grams a day. And that is insanely easy to go past with the way the American diet is and with processed foods. So we used to make all our own, as much of our own food from scratch as we could. No preservatives or dyes or anything, because all that does is make your kidneys work harder to filter it out. And your kidneys are kind of like a muscle, just like the whole body. And if it's working out too hard, it's just going to get weaker and weaker. But if you can give it some time to rest, it'll kind of recover. And the human body has an amazing ability to heal. It's really cool. The books I was reading, it would refer to kidneys as like, your kidneys are like recycling center. You run garbage through it and it like processes it and figures out what goes where and sends it to where it needs to go. And if it has to reuse something, it reuses it and gets rid of the garbage. But if you overwork it, it'll become a toxic waste dump, and you don't want that. You want it to be a nice, clean, running, recycling facility. And so by not overloading it or overworking it, it ends up being able to do that. So that's what we were able to do, and it was really cool. And I'm really glad I got those 2.5 more years with my dad, because those were the 2.5 years of this boat and getting it all fixed up and going sailing and giving him that last, just happy, not this last summer, 2022, but 2021 summer. And 2020 was the summer that I kind of fixed the boat all up because of COVID and the lockdown. But 2021, it was amazing. We got to go out for the 4th of July at night. That was the first time I went out at night on the boat, and I really learned about how using the chart plotters and stuff. I call it flying by instruments, like in an airplane, when you know the weather's real bad or it's night. Or on computer, on the flight simulators I used to play when I was a kid, they would just like black out the windows so you couldn't see anything. Because it's a computer game and they can do that, and they just don't have to render the outside, and then you would just fly by the instruments. So at night you can do that on a boat when you have your chart plotter, because you can't see anything if there's no moon, and then you just use that to navigate. That's pretty cool, and it was able to give me a little more confidence in it to learn, and then now I'm able to use that skill that I learned of navigating at night with just instruments if I have to, and being confident in my ability to do that by all the stuff I did on Lake Mille Lacs for my dad. So we got to get out and watch the 4th of July fireworks in 2021, and I remember just sitting on the boat with him, and we were just sitting smiling, and I got to look over at him and I could see he was smiling. And for a long time, he was, after COVID happened and everything locked down, he couldn't really leave the house because of COVID, and he used to always love going to Aldi's, or there's a Teal's Market, it's called, by where we live, to walk around and see people and stuff, and that was also his exercise. And also right at the time before COVID happened, we were getting EECP, which is, I don't know the exact name of it offhand right now, but they put these like blood pressure looking things
as pants. They're like, it works like a blood pressure cuff kind of, but they're pants. And they squeeze the opposite of your heartbeat. It squeezes the blood back up, and what it ends up doing is it kind of like expands all the micro veins in your body when it does it, and it ends up giving your body the same kind of thing as if you were doing a cardio workout, but you're not. It's some really new technology, and I wish that they would use it more. We really had to fight to get it at the VA, and luckily the VA, they will pretty much do anything for veterans if you can prove why. And so that was the hard part, being that it's kind of new technology. And Dr. Thatcher there at the VA, he was kind of reluctant to at first because it's new and he didn't think it would really help or anything. And I got into a talk with him, and he was telling me how when he was younger he had some hearing problem, and he ended up getting to do EECP, and it actually helped his hearing come back because the blood in the, I don't know, he was explaining it to me. It's been 2 years, and I'm also haven't had a lot of sleep in the last couple of days. So he ended up getting that, and his hearing came back, and he was telling me about it before. And so when we were trying to get ECP, and he was saying, no, I don't really know. We don't have it at the VA. We can care in the community, and, you know, that costs the VA money, and it's not going to do anything. So I told him, you know, well, what would you have thought of when you had your ear thing if the doctor told you, well, you know, that costs the hospital a little bit of money, and, you know, we don't really want to do that, even though you have health insurance and we say we'll cover whatever you need. We just, you know, we don't really want to. And he was like, I would have sucked. I wouldn't be able to hear now. And so I explained to him, well, exactly. Now, imagine if this could save my dad or extend his life or quality of life. Why wouldn't we want to do that for him? And he agreed, and we ended up getting it at the Minnesota Heart Institute. But then COVID happened, and halfway through they had to stop it, and it was really sad because he got halfway through and he was really starting to improve too on that. Like, he could walk better. And I remember one time he was walking, and like the cat ran by, and when he stopped, he kind of did like a weird shuffle with his feet, and it was like a little like dance, like a little like, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't know you could move that fast still. And he was like, yeah, my legs, I'm getting way, they don't hurt all the time from neuropathy and stuff from the Agent Orange, and having, you know, feet wet all the time when he was in Vietnam. And it was really cool. We were all excited, yeah. And then, like, right in the middle of it is when COVID shutdowns happened, and they had to stop. And then we went, you know, shut down the homestead. I was going to the grocery store with a full Israeli gas mask, not messing around, because I'm a prepper and I am prepared, you know. And then slowly stepped it back, you know, when they were on the news, like, masks don't work. Like, yeah, your mask doesn't work, mine does, and I will use it. And that's another one of them things, like, the masses, just because somebody says something doesn't mean it's true. You know, you got to do your own research. And I believe it was Thomas Jefferson that said, liberty is the virtue of self-discipline. So if we're going to be a free people and you're going to be a free person, you have to have the ability to have self-discipline and look up and see when people are full of it. So you need to be able to do what's best for you as a human being, because that's what matters. Anyway, so everything shut down, and it was just sad because then he couldn't go to the grocery store anymore, and I could tell he gained a lot of weight. Well, not a lot of weight, but some weight. And then his blood pressure went up, and then we had to up his diuretic and then that was when I stepped in because his kidneys were getting real bad, and I'm like, no, we gotta do something. He ended up in the hospital, I believe it was November before that started, and then that was kind of what started it all. And then when COVID happened, we were starting to get all better, and then because he started to sit again, his kidneys started to get worse again after they had already improved a little bit, and that's when I turned into Nurse Ratchet, he called me. And no more snacks and Oreos and cookies or anything. and it was really cool. And I think he was really happy that I was able to do it. We would argue, because I'd be like, oh, you can't eat that Oreo. What you doing? And we all want to see, you know, because his kidneys did start to get better, and I'm sure, and a lot of the things I've read is that happens a lot. Of people will change their diet and their kidneys will get better, a little better, and they'll go, oh, I'm good, and then they'll go back to their old diet, and it just gets bad again. And yeah, so yeah, it was really just sad that COVID happened and that happened. But it also was like a blessing in disguise, because it gave me the ability. We would have never had the boat home for that whole summer to work on, because I know my dad would have been saying, come on, put it in, put it in, put it in. We need to get it in the lake. And that wouldn't have given me the ability to reinforce, strengthen, and redo this whole boat, as you guys have seen, followed along in my previous videos. Like I was saying, I think before, when we got the boat home after 2018, when we bought it, and we had it out for like 2 weeks, which we did go out once or twice, the back transom by the rudder was soft. You couldn't push, like if I pushed hard enough, I think I could have pushed through it. And that was crazy to think. We could have died. Or at least sank the boat there out on Lake Mille Lacs, and that would have been horrible. So I was able to get the boat home. We redid the rudder. I was able to redo the wet exhaust, and also because of that, I was able to learn all of these skills that I would have never learned or looked up, and for repairing a boat, which all led to this trip. Like everything worked out just in life to lead up to this, and it was kind of cool. Anyway, so we got the boat home, and I was able to fix it all up. And that was wonderful, because now on the trip, I know every inch of the Mellow intimately, and I also know where her strengths and weaknesses are, and I also know that I've made it reinforced and made stronger a lot of places on this boat than it would have been originally. Originally, fiberglass, they used poly back in the 70s and 80s, and that had like 700 psi, compared to nowadays we can get 2-part epoxy from Total Boat, and you get the medium dry, not the fast or long, because it has the most psi and strength, and that has 12,000 psi, so that is like 12 or 13 times stronger, well 14 or 15 times stronger than the original construction of the boat. So I know that helps. And then I was also able to do backing plates for like all of the deck fittings. We did the front, I think it's called a stem fitting. The thing that the roller furler connects to, the forestay, we got that all reinforced. I was able to, back here, I don't know if you can see, there's that access hatch, so then we were able to redo the mounts, and we actually got the newer upgraded ones from Catalina Direct, and then I was also able to put stainless steel backing plates, and then fiberglass, some more of that, with the 2-part epoxy, so the rudder should be extremely strong and stuck there and not a problem, because when you do research online, the couple areas of this boat, Catalina 25s, that people have had issues with the swing keel, is either the swing keel volcano there, the rubber tube will pop off or break, and that's below the water line where that connects, and then you have like a 2-inch hole in your boat and sink. So what I did, and the previous owner did, is instead of just that rubber tube that comes up, we have the rubber tube, and then we have a 2 1/4 inch, or yeah, I think it's 2 1/4, or 2 1/2 inch piece of PVC pipe that goes around it as well. So that is extremely strong. And then I didn't fiberglass, but I siliconed the shit out of the bottom of it, where there's 2 hose clamps that connect it tight. I figure right before, or about last year, we replaced, there's a brass ball in there that the keel cable comes down on. It's so that when it goes, it spins and it doesn't cut into the fiberglass of the boat. We just replaced that, so I should not have to get access into there for a while. So I just siliconed the crap out of it. So there is no way that that should pop out. The second thing that people have had issues with these boats are your rudder ripping off. Because the original mounts were not stainless steel, and the way they were welded was way, way weaker of a design than the new design that they have. And then they had no backing plates, so it could just pull right out real easy because it's just M10 bolt, 3 of them for the, I'm always a little weary when I put my phone on. It was just the 3 screws, and then on the back side, the nut. There was no washer or anything, and it could just pull right through the fiberglass real easy. So what I was able to do was, we got the new mounts, which is stronger. We redid the whole transom, and I added an extra maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch of fiberglass to the back. So that's extremely strong now. And then on the inside, we got our 3 bolts, and we ended up getting 316 stainless, which is a stronger stainless than 304, which was the original. And it's less corrosion resistant. And we were able to then grab a 2-inch piece of stainless steel strapping, and I made it about, let's see, maybe 4 inches long, 5 inch, maybe 5 inches long, 4 or 5 inches long. And then we drilled that, and we were able to put the bolts from the back through the fiberglass, through the backing plate, and then I also used 1-inch washers as well, and then the bolt. So it is definitely magnitudes stronger than the original. So I'm not worried about that. And by being able to do all that, I was able to just learn, everything you need to know about maintaining a boat. And so for this trip, that's good. So if anything happens, I'll be able to fix anything I need. And I have all the tools. I over-tooled it big time. I'm like a mobile garage. I could fix, we don't have a jack, but I could fix pretty much anything on a car. I have all the stuff to rebuild an engine, just in case my engine breaks down. I have, all the stuff for piston rings, to pull out the pin for your cylinder, or your piston. And what else was I trying to think of here? But yeah, I just have everything. I got compression testers, I got a bore scope, I got saws, drills, everything. Anything and everything you can imagine, I got it. So that's good to know. So if anything happens, I can fix it. And then another thing that's really perfect is this OMC sail drive. Typically the equivalent of a 15 horsepower Johnson that they stuck right on top of the lower unit, which is the sail drive, and then they mount that to the bottom of the boat. The spare motor that we have is a Johnson 8 horse, and a lot of the parts are interchangeable. So I was able to get a spare fuel pump and a few other parts, and I have them with changeable. So that works out real nice as well. So it's early. I haven't had anybody really to talk to for a few, almost 2 weeks now. So I'm blabby blab. So, but I just want to kind of explain to everything to you guys, because I get a lot of questions on Facebook and everything. And if I don't try to answer them, I don't want to end up forgetting them and have people think I'm not paying attention or I'm ignoring them, because I'm trying to answer everything I can. But you got to remember, this is a one-man job. So I'm trying to edit videos, get them online, talk to people on Facebook, research my next destinations, make sure, they have a dock there for me, make sure the boat's going, can't navigate. So it gets a little tricky to everything. So if somebody asks me a question and I forget to get to it, I apologize. Just ask again, because I might have forgot. I do have a lot going on. It'll be nice once we get a little farther south, and we can kind of slow down, and then it's not, you know, sleep, wake up, go. Sleep, wake up, go. It's more of a, we'll have like a little more relaxing, do some boat work, and maybe kind of explore the sights a little more. But I'm not really much for people. I just never have been. Kind of living on the homestead with just me and my dad. I've never been a people person. So to be out on the boat and in the water and in the elements, to me is way more amazing than being around people or exploring a town. I like the sights of the river, just being on the boat. It's nice. I feel at home. It's kind of cool. I feel like I was saying earlier, I have a purpose in life. It's something I'm kind of good at, and not everybody can do. Without learning how to sail there on Lake Mille Lacs because of how big it is, and going out there in 20-30 mile an hour winds was fun, and most people would stay at the dock. It's really they helped me out. It's kind of like my base of where I started is way up there compared to what a lot of people have. And I think back to when I was there maybe a month or two ago, and they had that fishing tournament, and that guy was by Terry's, and he came in off the lake, and he fishes all over the United States in the tournament. And it wasn't even very big waves on the lake. And he said, "Wow, it's crazy out there." I want to be like, "That's nothing, man." Anyway, we push on south. So dam number 11 should be up here more than about another 5 miles. All right, here we are, passing another barge. Sticking over to this side, I called him on the radio and asked because another pleasure boater, a guy in a speedboat, took off and turned right in front of him because he didn't want to go too close to shore, and then went on his other side. So I like to talk to him on the radio, so it's fun. And I hailed him and asked him what side I'd like to go, and he said, "Go on my port side. Thank you for asking," and not being rude like that other guy. So it's always good to be in the good graces of these barge captains, because if anything ever happens, you want them on your side and them to be out here looking for you. It does make me think, after talking to a bunch of them, if any of the other guys know, or like if they talk about it at all, or pretty cool. He just waved at me from the bridge. So I put the phone down there. This one doesn't have a bad wake at all. So this one was 2x2, not bad at all. Here's a 2x2. They get up to I wonder if it's only 2x2 because it's really narrow back there. That spot that I came through that the Golden Rule got grounded on. They have some real, like you're going back and forth, and there's the one where you come around that buoy and so I definitely can see how the Golden Rule ran around. Because I'm saying, I don't think they have Navonics like on their phone like I do. They just have a Garmin chart plotter, and who knows how often that updates. Power boat again. Hopefully they're not going to shoot off over in front of us to the side. Gotta follow the rules so we can all have a good day. Some of these power boaters, they just speed all around and don't think about their weight or anything or anybody but themselves. It's not what life's about. Life's about working with other people. That's why we are a society, and why we're better than the animals. We work together, but I don't know if we're actually. A lot of animals have a lot better qualities and are more loyal than people are pretty ruthless. So we push on. Dam number 11. Should be about maybe an hour, and we'll be there. Paul, he's going to take me out and go to Hy-Vee, get some lunch, and then I'm going to get some 1x4s at the lumber yard. Stick it between the stanchion there and there. We'll be able to get our water jugs. We have down there on the floor, up on the deck. Found one is, it's actually easier with the sun, you can't see down in there. My jug, or my big tub of clothes that sat up there, I put in the middle, so then the boat evens out more, and then it pulls that up so that our motor's not our spare motor's not dragging as much. Depends on how much weight I have back here, if we're pulling gas or not, then it kind of drags a little, but if I go set all the water jugs up front, then it pulls it up out of the water. The less drag, the better on a sailboat. So I'll come back once we get a little closer up here to dam number 11. Alright, here we are, coming up to dam number 11. It's kind of cool. There's a bunch of seagulls and stuff kind of flying around the boat. I don't know if they think I have food or what, but they keep circling. It's kind of cool. Just a little bit north of the beach, Iowa. So, here we go. Alright, here we are. Locken Dam, number 11. Pretty cool. Like 5 minutes outside before he had to get everything ready, but now he said, go ahead, head on in. So, here we go. Seems funny doing these locks now after the first one, and it was so intimidating. And now it's just kind of like a normal everyday thing. Call them on the radio, they tell you what to do, you do what they tell you what to do, and then you make it happen. Green light, we are set to enter. So from here to DeBeat should be pretty clear, no barges, and then south of DeBeat it looks pretty clear as well. Once you get down to like Savannah, I think it's either Illinois or Iowa. Like I was saying before, on the chart plotter, it doesn't tell you which side of the river it's on necessarily. When you're zoomed up, it just shows the town. Then when you zoom in, it'll actually show you more details. So, but down there on the AIS, it looked like then you really start to get some more barge traffic. So we'll be running into the Cassville. The barge we ran into the other day dropped its load, and it's going to be heading north again. So maybe we'll run into our old buddy. If not, I don't know, because I was looking on marinetraffic.com to try to find it, and it said it was like yesterday or the day before, and then it showed an arrow pointing north. So I was just guessing he was going north again. But it could be wrong. It hasn't updated yet today. I don't know if it's just maybe he was doing a little turn or something and it picked it up as the arrow going facing that way. I don't know, and it didn't have a track. But it'd be cool. And if you checked out our YouTube, I don't know what your name is, but the guy from the city of Cassville, thank you again for getting our picture. And I hope I run into you again on the river. There we go into Lock and Dam number 11. I'm going to put the phone down and we start heading out. Alright everybody, so that is the end of Lock and Dam number 11. Now we'll head into the beach. So we just got to wait until we hear the all okay. Then we'll be able to head out. So the Lockmaster here, their AIS is down, and then he was saying they don't like it if you use your vessel name or powerboat or sailing vessel or anything. They just want you to say pleasure craft and the way you go. So thank you very much to Lock and Dam number 11 for locking me through. And if anybody is going through here in the future, make sure you just use recreational boat and which direction you're going, because it'll make it a little easier for them. They said they didn't have the best of radio, so it never comes through real clear. And it's just easier for them. So we shouldn't have too much farther to go. I think it's about a mile down now to the marina we're gonna go to. So we'll head on over there. It should be catchphrase, good to go. I'm a dork. So I do have to say I kind of prefer traveling at night on the river. You don't have to worry about any other boats. About are the barges, and they're doing a job, and they are professional, and they're very good at it. It's a lot easier when you're out and about, because everybody is out boating, profession, not necessarily profession, but trying to do it to their utmost degree. They're not out just for playing around or drinking or anything. I'm sure a lot of these people drink and stuff. So it's Friday, so the next couple days we'll probably see a lot more traffic on the river too, compared to like a Monday or whatever. So here's the wall here. Coming out of the dam, and then there's the bridge by the beach. Focusing on the shrouds there and my tail, not the bridge. So there's the bridge. I'll get some more footage when we get a little closer. Alright everybody, there is the bridge through Dubuque. Dubuque is on that side in Iowa, and then on this side there's East Dubuque. I'm not positive if it's Wisconsin or Illinois. Once I dock, I'll figure it out. Trying to get here as fast as I can, because Paul's supposed to meet me at 1:30, and it's like 1:05, 1:10. And I have about another 20 minutes of motoring, so it's going to be close. I really do appreciate him meeting me here, though. It's going to be helpful to get those boards so I can do my bottles. And then get that cool trip. And it'll be cool to see a familiar face. Kind of crazy to see somebody from Lake Mille Lacs all the way down here, and where the sailing green started. Fix my hair, you know, because I gotta good for going in town and being around people. You don't want to look like too crazy of a sea pirate. old sea dog. I am bored. Anyway. Very cool. Rear shot of the bridge as we pass it. That's north of the Butte. Then here we're going to go into the Butte, and then here's another railroad bridge and vehicle bridge. Looks like they got a few plants. This town doesn't smell as bad as the other ones. At least not yet. The wind is blowing from behind us, so it would not carry the smell to me yet. So we'll see once we get a little closer. Alright. Here is Topeka, Iowa. Little town. We are close enough, and it does have a bad smell. It smells like burning oil, which would not be a fun smell to have at all where you live. So here's the rail bridge. There's a houseboat we're passing. We'll wave. We are going to go on past this bridge, and I believe it is past the other bridge. Ooh, this houseboat has a wake on it. Woo-dee-woo-dee-woo. Little wave action. That houseboat had more of a wake than any other barge we've encountered so far. So I believe we go through this bridge, and then we get just on the other side of the vehicle bridge, and then we hang a left to our port side, and head into the Marina Courtesy Dock, where we will meet Paul. And Paul, I texted, and he got there early, and he made sure everything was good to go to dock there. So that's the plan. Alright, everybody. So we come out of this, around this bridge, and I just see a little channel right in there. And then there's the courtesy dock, all waiting for us. Get a little footage going under the vehicle bridge now. They're definitely all tall bridges now. I was tempted to help me raise the mast here, but I still want to keep making time getting south, so I'll just wait till Alton, Illinois is still the plan. With the mast down, when it's real windy, if I have to, I just throw the keel down, and it is insanely stable because there's no mast. It's used to being having to weigh down the counterbalance the mast, so with no mast and the keel down, when it's real windy, it's insanely stable. Makes it a piece of cake. Alright. So this is a little intimidating. Kind of going into like a little channel that this marina has dredged out, literally on the So there's like, I'm going through about maybe a 15-foot wide channel, even right next to those markers. It is like 2 feet, maybe not even like a foot. You can see right there, there's the train standing. So they said just stay right in the middle and you should be okay. So that's the plan. Stay right in the middle and we should be okay. It would suck to start the morning hearing that golden loop suddenly running around. That would be horrible. This is kind of cool going up in here. I'm guessing this is kind of what the intercoastal will be like. Down south more. But I am not sure. The mellow will go everywhere. Sure will take me anywhere. Like I'm Pirates of the Caribbean, Captain Jack Sparrow. What is a ship? A ship isn't sails and lines and a deck. A ship is freedom. Do and go where you want. This is actually really cool coming up here like this. I'm really glad I got to do this. So Paul sent me a picture ahead and it looks like I should be able to go up on the left side. So that's the plan. I wish they'd do some more marinas like this up on Lake Mille Lacs so we could have some more sailboats, but there's just not the money to do it and stuff. People don't have sailboats up there. Yeah, this is intimidating. We are in 4 feet of water right now. With our swing keel up, the draft all we need is 2.5. The swing keel down, the draft is 6. So, seeing 4.5 there, that's the shallowest water I have been in since we put the boat in the river up in Bayport. Alright, so we should just make the turn here. And there's the marina. I'm gonna put the phone down now so I don't run around and do anything bad. So we'll get this done and I'll be back. Alright, so we came back. It's supposed to be 2, 3, 5, enter. But there's no enter to push. So 0, 2, 3, 5. No, that's not it either. We're gonna take a picture of the lock here and we'll bring it back to the lady at the bar and then we'll see what she says. There is no 253 enter. There is no enter button on the keypad. So for the woman at the bar to have said all you have to do is hit 253 enter was incorrect. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. We will find out. It's probably something real easy too, but I don't know how the things work. Alright, so we got it all figured out now. Apparently that was not the right door right there. It's actually on the side. The front one is the one they rent out apparently. So good to know. Good to know. So 235 or 253. 253. Yeah, we get a shower. Ooh, smells like weed in here. Weed is legal, so time to take a shower. So shower looks like in the marina here. I'll come back when I'm done and we'll continue on. All right, so that was a good shower. Complimentary shampoo and conditioner. Don't forget my hair tie. Marina, and to eat, you get a complimentary shower, which is pretty crazy. Something I've never really seen, but I'm glad, because after 2 weeks, I needed a shower. I'm gonna get dressed, and then we'll head back down to the boat. All right, everybody, we got all showered, so we're gonna head back down over to the boat, and I'm gonna air dry here. I'm gonna get everything loaded up. I'm gonna put on some new fresh clothes. We'll get some gas from the marina, and then we will head out for the night. I actually got a little treat at the grocery store for the grill. I got some brats. So when we anchor tonight, we'll get to make some brats on the grill by moonlight, because tonight I believe is the actual full moon. So I'm excited. So I'm gonna get back down over to the boat. I want to get out of this channel before it gets nighttime, definitely. So hopefully I'll be able to do this real quick, get the gas and go. Get off land, because it don't move right. It does not move right. The water level must be... You can see on these piers how high it normally is in this ramp here. It's got quite the angle to it, and then you can see those ones there too. So here's the Mellow, our trusty girl. So I'm gonna get dressed and I'll be back. All right, everybody, gas dock. We got everything filled up. We got our fuel tank over there full. We got our spare cans full. 80 miles if we need to, or 100 miles. I always like to make sure we're full though. Sorry, I'm eating some licorice. I haven't had licorice or munchy food in a while, and it's amazing. So I went to town. I got some Hostess cupcakes, some Twizzlers, Lucky Charms, Captain Crunch, all the good stuff. And then I got some brats that we'll do tonight. And then over there where the freezer's there, the ice chest is, it's about 2.5 feet deep by a foot. That's full of canned food. I have enough canned food for like 2 months. But that gets old, so it's good to have other kind of food. And I'll have to get some eggs too. So, Midtown Marina. Pretty cool little place here in East Dubuque. When I took my shower, it kind of smelled like weed in there. And I was like, oh wow, are they using this place as a grow room? And that's why they didn't want me to go in the front door. And come to find out, there's the Twilight Cruise or whatever, and it's a cruise ship that goes out of here, and everybody ends up getting high and coming back. And that's why, because in Illinois, weed is legal. I thought I knew that, but I wasn't sure it was that legal. To me, it's just odd. I mean, it's to Minnesota, where if you smell weed, everybody's hiding. Or you're at a party. Anyway, so we're going to get everything all packed up. I got some of my cold weather gear on. I'm going to run the engine fan before we start the motor, because we got gas, and then we'll head on out. All right, everybody, Midtown Marina in East Dubuque. They're a nice place. Compliment when you have something to eat. I'm glad my buddy Paul from up in Minnesota was able to meet me and have dinner before I got here, so I could get the shower. And he was able to bring me to town. I could get my 2x6s and my money. So tonight's actually supposed to be colder than last night, which is scary because it got pretty cold. But it's about 5 o'clock. I'm hoping I should be able to get another at least 4 more hours of movement, so that's probably 20 more miles. I believe Savannah, Illinois is the next major landmark that we'll run into. So I think we'll run into Lock and Dam number 12 before that. Alright, I was able to look quick. It's actually Galena, Iowa, or Illinois. Galena, Illinois that we'll be running into next. So, thank you very much, Midtown Marina. I appreciate it. So now we get to go back out through this insane passage here. It's blind coming out of here. I should use my squeak horn, but I didn't realize it got a hole in it and it popped, so I can't use it. I have another one in here, but I can't get to it like that, so that's kind of messed up. Well, tonight, maybe I can see if I can lift up that board and get in there. I'll just go real slow and try to be safe. This is crazy, in my opinion, coming in and out of here. It's almost like Terry's in his marina, which is dredged, but this is like that, plus a little bit of windy. I wonder how far down river you can go, probably, or up that stream. Probably not very far. I'm guessing they've only dredged it to there and back. So I do think the water is low as well. Maybe that's why we got some of those 4-foot areas. You can see there with the grass where it would normally have been. And when I called, they said 6 feet. And like I was saying, there was a couple times we got down up here and it was like 4 feet. So they assured me we're good to get in and out, and I was good to get in and out, because this was the first time on the chart plotter we went somewhere where it said it was shallower than our draft. I was worried, but so far we're doing pretty good coming out. Oh, looks like a barge is going by. I didn't look at the AIS at all, so good though that the barge went by, and then we don't have to worry about that. 7 feet, 6 feet, 6.2, 5.3. Alright, now it's going back up again. 9, 10, 11, 12. So there must just be like a little hump right back there. That's where that 4-foot area was when we were coming in too, I believe. I'm not sure. You guys watched the video. You would have known when we came in if it was kind of right about that same spot. So good. 8.9. Well, I thought coming in and out of Terry's was stressful sometimes. So they have these little markers. At least Terry's has lights. But that's why I wanted to get out of here before it got dark. I was seeing them coming out. Yeah, out into the river. Looks like the wind's picked up a little bit more this morning. Reach down and grab my lifeline connect in because we're getting out into the river. I got our radio turned on. I'm going to pause the video, make sure I got my AIS on, and then we'll be back. Alright, that is the view as we leave Denview, Iowa. Overall, been a pretty productive day. I'm glad we got to restock some of our munchie provisions. We got those 2 boards, that's a big thing, so then I can get the water jugs lashed up on deck, and that'll take up some more space, and it'll also get some more weight forward and not to the bow. I mean stern, sorry. After go the last few days. Nights that really cold day. Tomorrow I think I'm going to sleep in. I don't have to meet like fall or anybody, so it should work out pretty good that I can kind of take a longer day tomorrow before I get going on the road or on the river. Not a road. And then maybe I'll be able to do a couple of boat projects. I got to dig out my lash these boards up to the stanchions. And yeah, what's the plan for that? We'll see how it goes. I'm pretty good at here and changing stuff as I go. It might be nice to kind of sleep in. I know this morning when it was being so chilly, I did not want to get out of bed at all. But you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm ready to have another beautiful sunrise on the river. Sunset is at like 6:30ish. That's almost 5:15 now. So we have about another hour of daylight. Make it another 5 miles before we have to night mode. Well, I just got a text from Helen and Golden Rule. The fire department pulled them off the mud this morning and they were able to get into their dock in Cassville. I believe that was the Cassville Marina. I'm not sure. That's where we were yesterday. They're about a day behind us. And then they're going to stop there for a day or two and give a talk. I'm trying to talk to them, and I think they should not stop as much and try to get farther south like I am. But they can move faster than me, but they stop for a day or two to give these talks. And in my opinion, I think they need to just start moving south as quick as they can. I wish I could tie a rope to them because they can go like 8 or 9 miles an hour, and we could just get down river as fast as we can to like St. Louis, and then we don't have to worry as much. And then it's not too much farther south from there that you get to Cairo, Illinois, and then you can hop up over to the Tennessee Tom, and there's a lot more water in that system. The new cruise ship from Viking Cruises or something, Celebrity Cruises, was supposed to go up to St. Paul and then back down to New Orleans on its maiden voyage, but it can't get up here with how low the river is. So definitely an interesting situation developing. Most of the time this time of year, the water is probably up another foot or higher. I'm trying to see if I can look around and I can see water level, but it should be up a lot higher. The Golden Rule, I believe their draft is 6 feet. So we have 2.5 feet, or 3 feet with the keel up, and then 6 feet with it down. I believe it's like 5.5, but we'll say 6 feet just to be safe. I always want to make sure there's a little bit of leeway, especially with how the river is low now, and we don't know if the charts are always super up to date, and with waves, you have that couple feet of leeway. You're not worried about boom bottoming out or something. We do not want to hit the swing keel when it is retracted and rip it off or anything, because we have not even got to go sailing yet, and that is the whole point of this voyage. So we're going to continue on our journey. I'm glad that they were able to get off of the sandbar or the mud flat or whatever it was, and that their boat is okay, because I am rooting for them. I like to do this thing together with them. And I was talking to Helen, and they might switch over at Caro there over to the Tennessee Tom as well, and follow me, because supposedly there's more water in that system right now, and it's not as shallow. That was my original plan, and then when I heard about the low water levels a couple of days ago, some other people in the Great Loop Facebook group were saying that the Tennessee Tom has a lot more water in it compared to the Mississippi. And with the Mississippi and all the barge traffic, and with the water low, they have to move all their barges real into the center of the channel to make sure you're okay. So there's not much room to maneuver, so you don't want to deal with that. Because once you get down south past St. Louis, they start having barges that are like 8 long, 9 long. I heard somebody said it was a 12 long by 4 or 5 wide barge. That's crazy compared to what we've seen up here. The most one that I have seen up here so far was 4 long by 3 wide. So it'll be interesting to see how they look once we get up farther. And it kind of makes me feel a little bit better about my seamanship and my navigation skills, because I came through a pretty treacherous part of the river there last night, a lot of bends and turns and whatnot, and my system of watching the channel markers and then also having the Navonics, which updates every day, and my hummingbird chart plotter, which you can compare between and see if there was a difference or anything, and just making sure I stuck right to the middle of the channel worked really well. And I'm glad I was able to come up with a really good system that works. As you guys know, I've never done this before. I'm winging this, but I've researched a lot. I'm pretty good at researching stuff and then putting it into practice. So, and I do feel, even though I've never done this, I kind of have a better idea of how to do it than a lot of people. It's not like I just came out here and went, woo, let's do this. So I've got a lot of good equipment, backup plans, and contingency plans for everything. So I'm pretty happy about that. And my fear level of what I'm able to accomplish is pretty good. So we'll continue on downriver. The sun is ready to go down pretty soon. Maybe another half hour, 45 minutes. Alright, it's getting to be sunset on the river. I'm thinking tonight, because it's going to get so cold, and I want to grill those brats that I got at the grocery store. We're going to end up doing maybe another 3 miles here. And we'll pull off on the left side outside of the channel markers for the night. Cook our food, get down in the cabin where it's nice and warm, and call her a night. After tonight, it should warm up for a few days, and then I believe next Wednesday, Thursday, it's going to rain, at least up here. Depending on how fast I move, how long I move, and what we're doing, I'm not quite sure how far south I will be, and if it'll rain in the area I'm at or not. So we'll find out. We will find out. Definitely a beautiful view again tonight. We've gotten real lucky with our weather windows so far. It's been nothing but beautiful sunsets and beautiful moonrises. I believe tonight or tomorrow is the actual full moon. Tonight I'm going to call it more of an early night. Cook up my brats. I'll show you guys that process. And rest up so that the next couple nights when it's warm again, I'll be able to move more and get some more miles behind us. That's the plan. Alright everybody, we made it to anchor. So,
we got a treat tonight. We're gonna make some on the grill. So by going into the beak, I was able to go to the grocery store quick and get something to grill. Because we don't have a freezer, I can't normally bring a lot of meat. It's always foods, pastas, or cereals. And this will make it a little bit more enjoyable tonight. So I'm gonna fire up the grill. The moon is coming out a little bit. Today or tomorrow is the actual full moon, but it's so cloudy and it's gonna be so cold tonight. And I've been going go. I think I'm just gonna call it an easy night, enjoy these brats, and have a really nice, easy, relaxing night. So, I wish you could see me more here. Let me see if there's a way to... Haha. I can turn up the brightness on my phone, I think, and then I can use the light of my phone to light up my face so you can see better. So, that'll work when I'm filming. So at anchor here, I don't know if these are coyotes or if these are wolves. Pretty sure those are coyotes. First time finally getting to have some animals. Pretty cool. Alright, you can make fun of me. I got my light all goofy, but like this, it shoots up and reflects off the bimini, and then you guys can see me. So, pretty cool night with the coyotes. Grilling some brats on the grill. So I'm very glad for that. Good quality food, not just canned food anymore for tonight. So we'll let those cook. I'm gonna get those eaten. And just call it a nice, chill night. In the comments below, if you guys have any questions about anything we did today, hit that like button and subscribe. It helps us out. I'll see you guys later.